he did take some pretty big hits that we discussed, refs. That's got some people wondering if he should cut back on all the running. He was asked about that yesterday. Take a listen.
I don't understand certain things. Like, that's my edge, you know. You gonna expect the lion not to roar?
Hey. Oh, he also added, I took last season real personal. This is not just another year. LZ, I'll start with you. Do you expect Cam Newton to get back to that MVP level?
Can we just see the clip where he goes, that's my edge?
That's my edge.
That's my edge.
Yeah, you like that,
With the beard and the, it's like a whole thing.
Remember Jodeci or something like that.
Do you just brush the bleach on the bottom?
What are you asking me?
Put it in the bowl and then just dip it.
I guess I could ask myself.
Yes, ask yourself.
Go on.
That's my edge.
I don't want to know.
All right, so here's the thing. I expect Cam to bounce back. I'm not quite sure if that means that they're going to automatically be a better team, because while Cam had his struggles on the offensive end, there was also a huge issue what happened to them defensively. The team that went to the Super Bowl was a much better defensive team. They ended up replacing great players like Josh Norman with rookies who got destroyed, and so that impacted whether or not Cam was going to get the ball in the middle of the field or back to his own 20.
Yes.
I mean, all of that impacted the outcome of what happened last season. So MVP level, I think MVP implies that the team's going to win a lot. I don't know if they will, but I do expect Cam to bounce back.
I completely agree with you. I looked at this too, and I imagined Cam Newton. I remember that rookie year being up here, and then a down year, and then the MVP. But you look at the numbers, it's really the team wins that go up and down. His production is pretty consistent through the 6 years he's been in the league, and they are going to go as the team goes. And you got Luke Kuechly, who's got this concussion issue, and who knows if that comes back this year. And like you said, they lost Josh Norman. And then when you're playing from behind, it puts him in a position where he has to try, and the defense puts in strategizes against
Here's the thing, though. They're not catering to him anymore. They're not running things through him.
Here's his
They're not
MVP year versus everything.
trying to make him feel valued. I mean, Cam Newton, like, Michelle, when you...
It's not about feelings, Ramona.
I think it is. With a guy like that...
No, it is. And look, can you not make the argument? I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but can you? And I'm not even picking on Cam Newton. I'm actually just speaking of humanity. But as a human being, when you've reached sort of the top levels of things, right? Is there not a part of you that, let's say you come off of that and you don't have as good a year the following? Is there not a part of you that thinks maybe that was my peak? Like, I might be good for the rest of the way out, but that might have been the best that it's ever going to get. That's not knocking shade on anybody. That's just the way it is. Somebody has to be top.
If you look at like Tiger Woods, you could make an example for
do
that.
you
But
think
in an
that crossed his
individual
mind
sport,
ever?
I just feel like the franchise, the roster, the coaching, there are so many variables in the success of a National Football League team that you can't isolate it to one person the way you can in other sports, not just individual sports like basketball for one reason.
But I also know that athletes know their own body. I remember Serena Williams famously said after winning 4 majors in a row, I'm nowhere near my peak. And you're sitting there like going, you just won 4 majors in a row. People don't do that. But she knew her body. So I think Cam, if he knows what he's capable of, he's like going, okay, I was hurt. My throwing shoulder was bad. We didn't have I didn't read the things I could have read in a certain sort of way. That maybe his best days are still ahead of him. But again, I can't stress how important it is that the defense shores up as well. Because there aren't a lot of quarterbacks in this league that's going to consistently lead their team 80, 90 yards down for a score. They need to get the ball in a much more manageable position going forward.
And he's going to run less, let's be honest. He's going to run less.
You expect the lion not to roar?
Yes, I do. Also, I would have gone Panther there.
Yeah, right? Branding.
Go Panther.
Guys.
Go Panther.
The
Go
lion's the king of
Lions.
the jungle. What are you doing?
Oh, that's his edge.
I know, but king. Or maybe he's going to Detroit, LZ.
Are you starting
Presented by
things?
Sports Clips. That's what we do. 1 year for Travis Shaw.
See the left fielder there, Hernan Perez, called him off.
They need
You know what?
Wow, that's
I'm putting that on the left fielder. You got to yell him off there. Don't let him do that to you.
That's like an important
Come on,
part of
Perez.
it.
At least they avoided a collision, you guys. Silver lining.
They would have led the show if there was a collision.
That's a great point. 2 years. Thank you for Aaron Judge celebrating the home run. Oh, no.
Oh, 1-2. 2 years, 1-2.
Did you just get sad?
That's sad. Like,
Put it on that helmet. He'll fix it.
Low key, not been
that
great.
hurts. That really hurts.
No, but they're going to fix it. It'll be fine. 3 years.
I didn't even know that was
This.
Breaking down soccer.
Hit him with it. Oh.
Is that a sprinkler?
Sprinkler's turned on. Sprinkler's turned on.
That is perfect timing.
He's all serious.
He got double sprinkler.
He's getting his hot takes together. Takes it too hot. Takes it too hot.
Coming up, Mike Tomlin said there are consequences for Le'Veon Bell missing camp. Are we cool with this? We'll discuss.
I'm cool with it.
All right, this is Sports Nation.
What does KD think?
You get a good point. Welcome back to Sports Nation. Guess what, guys? What happened yesterday? The Steelers opened training camp. Antonio Brown.
Oh, my gosh.
And man, this man gets it.
This is like something you would do.
1931
Yes.
Rolls
So
Royce.
deep.
Yes. Great
Please.
effect.
James Harrison went ahead and got on a fire truck. I like that as well. Le'Veon Bell,
Pretty good.
who's seeking the long-term deal, didn't arrive at all. Mike Tomlin had
couldn't
this
get
to
the car
say.
together.
Couldn't-
Old
couldn't
school.
do it. There's no question we are a group that values the team-building process and doing it in this setting. So yes, there is value, and yes, there are consequences for not being here. That's the reality of it, LZ. Are you surprised at all? This coming from Mike Tomlin.
No, it's kind of stating the obvious. If you're not there, there will be consequences. Consequences not just on you, but also how it impacts the team. There might be people that might be resentful. There might be people that go, you guys should have paid him in the summer, so we wouldn't have to deal with this. So I personally don't have any issue with him being honest with what we already see.
I like players coaches. I thought he was a players coach.
Okay,
That surprised me. Like, I thought he was on their side. Like, he basically guilt tripped him right there. Like, he was like, get into camp, you're hurting the team. But
do you think he's stuck, though? Because he's basically the conduit between the owners and the
he's
players.
got a guaranteed contract. He ain't going
I
anywhere.
think even Tomlin himself would say that Le'Veon Bell deserves to be paid more than he's being paid.
Yeah.
I think it's unfair that he's being paid what he's being paid, but it's also unfair that he's not showing up for work for the rest of the team and the coaches and the franchise. So it's like it is
the only
a
way you get
difficult
things done.
balance. And if he comes out and says, no, there are no consequences, that man needs more money, pay him, you can't do that.
Can you imagine that?
But those
Yeah,
are
do that.
consequences. Well, see, I listen to that comment and I go, well, you know what? There's consequences, and there's consequences for both. There's consequence for the franchise, and there's consequence for him as an individual player. Just because he doesn't show up doesn't mean, or if he shows up, that is still consequences
Right, but
for him.
could you not have worded it? I mean, to the
Yeah.
sense of being a players coach, you could have said, hey, there are consequences to the team not paying this man what he's worth. And here we are.
We've all
facing
heard those
consequences.
stock quotes. Like, let me just do this for you. All you have to say is,
No comment.
look, this is front office stuff that needs to be taken care of, and
I'm
we look
focused
forward to
on-
what
No comment.
focus on the
Practice,
team that's here.
yeah.
I'm coaching the guys that are here. We'd love to see him when he gets here.
Yeah, that's not my job.
That's the answer.
It's just so hard when you see your teammates rolling
Yeah,
in
I
Rolls
know.
Royces and things
That
like that.
1931 Rolls. is
I like that he
classy
had
as
someone
it gets.
else driving it for him.
Oh.
That makes it even better.
That's the rule of a Rolls. You
Even
don't drive
better.
your own Rolls.
yeah,
no.
close the curtains.
Everybody
close
knows
the
that.
curtains,
That is
let
tacky.
someone
I don't
else
think you can
drive.
take that on the freeway too, right? I think
The 1931?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that thing was that thing's perfect.
All right.
And worth a lot of money.
Yes.
And you never
There it
never
is.
drive your own. It's so tacky.
There it
And you
is.
want Bell to show up on the cheap? Come on now.
I love it, though. Like, that's like Great Gatsby.
James Harrison.
Hello. Anyways, we will stay in the AFC North. John Harbaugh had this to say yesterday about Colin Kaepernick.
He's a really good football player, and I think, I believe he's a really good person. And, it all depends on a lot of things. It depends on Colin, first of all, what he wants to do. What's his passion? What's his priority? What's he want to do? And kind of shape he's in, and if he's ready to go, and then our needs, So we'll just kind of see where it goes. But I don't think that's different for us than any other team. We're definitely going to get another arm in here, but he's not an arm, obviously. Right. So he's an accomplished football player, and we always like having good football players around.
Well, he's a man of his word. They did get another arm. They signed a quarterback. But he's the Arena League and former Stanford quarterback David Olson. Woo! Harbaugh said that they're still considering signing Cap, especially if Flacco's back injury keeps him out. After that, which got a lot of people talking, obviously, for all the obvious reasons at this point, then they go and sign an Arena League dude. Bad luck for the Ravens?
One thing I found really interesting about that is some of the language that John just said. When he said, where's his passion at? Yeah. What is his priority? You don't really hear that stuff about professional athletes too much. And he's not just talking to us. He's getting information from all over the place. It gets like, wait a second, are we starting to sort of like low-key say that his priority is not football and that his passion is not football?
He told you exactly what he was thinking. That's exactly what he was trying to say. He's saying, Colin, declare yourself. Do you want to be a football player or not? Like, do you want to go along where, like, we're in charge and you're coming here because Flacco's out for a week or two? Like, that's what they needed.
I wish they just go ahead and have the courage to say the truth, which is we're scared. We're scared of the fan reaction if we bring you to camp because you know what? This is bullcrap at this point. And the fact that they're tiptoeing around this, trying to suggest that this professional athlete doesn't want to play football is ridiculous. There are tons of athletes who work in philanthropy. And at this point, that is what he's doing. He's already said months ago, no more protests. All I'm focusing on philanthropy. You don't see people going to Drew Brees going, yeah, you got this organization. You're helping people.
Are you too passionate about that? Are you not prioritizing
No one
football?
is saying that about that. And Blaine Gabbert, the dude that couldn't hold on to his job last year, has a job in freaking Arizona. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? You had Mark Sanchez run up a guy's butt. He has a freaking job in Chicago.
But he did
and
it
this
really well.
dude, he did do it really well.
Yeah, it would look great.
But this dude who didn't throw a fourth quarter interception last season, who only threw 2 picks when he was blitzed last season, who ran for almost 500 yards in a shortened season last year, he's trying to tell me he's not worth a look-see? Come on.
But what he's really saying is, Colin, are you going to fall in line? Like, that's what he's really saying. He's saying, if we bring you in here to be the backup quarterback, to be the guy who's going to be here for a week or two and then gracefully step aside, this sort of like nondescript role that Olsen just signed up for, are you going to be that guy?
But he has said that. See, here's the problem I have with it. He has said that he's not going to kneel anymore, which, but he's going to do philanthropy, right?
Yeah.
So are you asking every single dude on your team, are you going to stay in line? Are you going to not drink and drive? Are you not going to beat up a woman? You're not asking anyone else anything except for this guy. And so at this point, it is a joke. And no one's ever going to come out and say what they want to say because that's the heat. But at the end of the day, we know at this point. You either know and you believe it is what it is, or you're going to continue to say he's not good enough.
Harbaugh just told you what it is, though. Like, he was actually honest there. Like, he wasn't hinting. He may have been hinting at it, but he told you exactly what they all
We're
think.
at the point now where, like, the NFLPA needs to be a little bit more vocal.
Well,
yeah.
Good luck. Oh, good. Haven't talked about this guy in 5 minutes. LeVar Ball has had an eventful AAU tournament. This morning, he argued with another ref, female official, earning another tech, and again tried to take his team off the court until Adidas appeased him by removing that official in the middle of the game. Ball later received a second technical, and organizers ended the game after the ejection. He told ESPN afterwards, criticizing her experience, saying, quote, "She's got a vendetta. She's not in shape. She's not calling the game right. She needs to stay in her lane because she ain't ready for this. The little kids first and then come up because she ain't did enough." I'm sorry, what? She ain't got enough on her resume, I could tell. Now, again, we are speaking of children playing in AAU. Ramona, so that I don't get fired. Your reaction.
Me get fired? Okay.
Why don't you get fired for us?
Get fired.
I haven't made enough money yet. Come on. Like, I think with LeVar, look, the first time he said stay in your lane, I do think it was very personal to the situation because he had been called out by the woman in question, and it was like a very personal attack on him. So I gave him a little pass on that particular situation. But on this one, this is just like taking aim at a random female here, and this feels very gratuitous, and it feels very bullying, and it does feel very sexist.
It does feel sexist, and it also feels a little weird. I'm not going to blame Adidas for this or the organizers of this, but why? I've never seen a ref be removed from a game at the request of a coach. Just think about that.
Imagine if that was
Someone
the
had to
case.
walk over to that referee and say, "I'm sorry, can you leave because the famous loud guy, he doesn't want you to ref the game anymore."
Then how are you not going to blame Adidas? Because ultimately,
you can't.
I
they're
just
the
don't know
ones
who.
who
I don't know who gets paid to make
maybe
that
she's
decision.
a bad
Who's
ref.
the guy that made that
Whoever
call?
made that call is the person I'm upset with. I'm not upset with LeVar, and this is why. Because dudes like that are going to behave the way they're going to behave.
Yeah.
It's
doesn't mean you can't
it's
be
the
upset.
power above that's supposed to keep those kinds of things in line. I'm a huge LeVar Ball fan. I love the Ball family. I love their story. This was wrong.
I didn't like
he
this.
was wrong, but whoever decided to remove that female from that particular position based upon his request, they're the most wrong.
Well, and let's go back to like when Chris Paul did this. Remember when Chris Paul called out the female ref and it became a story?
Right.
And I remember reporting on this, and it was like, you know, the ref in question had a history with the Clippers. There had been a couple of games where they had incidents, and this had been building, and so when that happened, it was not all that surprising. But when he made a big deal of it, he could have just said rookie ref, but instead he used the pronoun, right? He said she's not up for this. And this is what happens when you're a woman. You get singled out. It's only a story because it's a female ref. Right? It's a bigger story because the female ref, and she gets.
Well,
maybe
he has a
she's-
track record.
Yeah, and maybe she's actually not a good ref. We don't know. We didn't watch the game. She may be a bad
the
ref.
same ref that gave him a tech on Wednesday.
Yeah, there's a history. There's been building.
And I'm
but there's
sure she
another
keeps
way to
herself up
handle
at night
this.
thinking about, how can I use my position as an AAU ref to take down LeVar Ball? Oh, I know. This is absurd. And by the way, it's very clear how I feel about this guy. He is in charge of children at a tournament in which fundamentals of basketball and sportsmanship and being part of a team are supposed to be the focal point. And once again, his antics and this just ridiculousness that he continues to do is what we're all having to talk about. And it's absurd. And yes, whoever made the ref leave is also wrong. Coming up, a mayor of a French town lost a bet and had to eat a rat.
Great transition.
I might draw the line here.
Boy, eat it right.
This might be it for me.
LeVar Ball can do whatever he wants, but no rat eating on this show.
Video. This is
I do
I'm
know.
about to have lunch afterwards.
That's gross, and this is Sports Nation.